Hey, what's going on, guys? Nick Trigili here for Generation Iron, bringing you a pre-show for the Indy Pro 2019 coming this weekend, March 30th. Um, Open class is pretty stacked at this show. This is the second year for the show. Just want to do a review about who's in the show and who do I have as the front runner. So I'm going to break down a couple of the top running physiques that are going to be entering the show. First guy I want to talk about is Akeem Williams. Akeem is one of the biggest guys on the show. He's probably close to 300 pounds on stage. Actually brings a small waist to the stage. Nice tapered body. Uh, Massive legs. Massive delts. Probably one of the best backs on the stage going into the show. The only downside to Akeem is his skin. Needs to get thinner. Needs to get razor sharp. Bringing that conditioning, and he'll be the overall probably one of the best physiques on that stage. Might be crowned that day. Also the winner. We've seen in the past, as Akeem does more shows throughout the season, the better he gets. So he does have one under his belt, Arnold, Ohio. So let's see if he's able to bring in now a little bit better conditioning that he brought there. Because we didn't see the best Akeem in Ohio. So maybe this will be the show for him. He might hit it, he might not. I believe he's still working with Oscar Arden. So hopefully him and Oscar has the best recipe for this show. Because we saw at the end of last year that he was finally bringing that package of the thin skin, the size, the symmetry, and the conditioning all together. So give Akeem props for this show. I wish him well. Next guy I want to talk about is Luke Sandoe. Luke is coming off his third, well, this will be his third show in a row. Two Arnolds. He done the Arnold, Ohio, and Arnold, Australia. Luke has tremendous physique. Um, as far as conditioning goes, as size goes, there's really nothing to say bad, negative about Luke's physique. It's probably the most complete look on the stage and probably the most dominant look on stage. He is probably the front runner in this show going into it, and this is a show for him to lose. This should be his Olympia qualification. I'm picking Luke to win this show just by giving off his last two shows that he's done very well. He's placed third and I believe fifth at the second Arnold. Luke's conditioning and size is tremendous on stage. He's a very dense bodybuilder. If I had to describe him, from head to toe, big shoulders, great back, striated glutes, great quads from the front this year. He didn't lose the fullness from the conditioning standpoint, and on the cardio, he kept his legs full. You spin him around, not really any negatives to pick him apart. He's got a Christmas tree in the back. Great Terry's muscles, great lats, and he's got sharp, big dugout hamstrings. So, and he's obviously has glutes. So, I mean, there's really nothing to say bad about Luke at all. The only enemy on that stage on this coming Saturday is his worst enemy is himself. And if he doesn't show up in shape, and this his show's to lose. So this is Luke's show to win. I give him good luck also. Third guy I want to talk about is Steve Kuclo. Now, Kuclo is probably one of the, if not tallest and biggest guys on stage. He might not be the heaviest, but he's probably by by inches probably one of the biggest and tallest guys on stage. These three guys staying next to each other is going to be something to see. They're all very comparable physiques. They all have weak points in certain areas that aren't tremendously that bad, but could lose some points here and there. They're both, Steve's back and Luke's back are not gonna. I want to see how they size up against Akeem's back, and then I want to see how Steve's legs and Luke's legs and Akeem's legs all side up next to each other. So it's gonna be a very close battle. All these guys carry relatively the same amount of muscle. I would say they're relatively competitive with one of each other. They could all one up each other any given day. No one's really just running out far in the front line with this win. If one guy's off, one guy's going to sneak up a place. Steve has been on point lately with his conditioning. His fullness has been there. To pick apart Steve, it's always been a chest issue. His chest has always been lacking, but arms and delts are tremendous. His back has always been a little bit of a weak point, but he's bringing up his back. We noticed that his back was better. And leg department, Steve has got good legs. So we'll see how he stands next to these two guys. It's going to be very interesting to see them compare next week one against one another. I think it's going to be probably a 1-2 show, 1-2-3 show between these three guys, as long as Akeem comes in shape. And it'll be a really good battle to see these three young guys. These are up and coming guys in the IFBB. battle it out at this show, because this is the second year this show is here, and have these three good pros showing up that are all Olympia caliber physiques, and that we're and Luke's going for his first Olympia qualification. It's going to be really interesting to see. I'm really excited to watch the show. And then you have Juan Rodriguez, who's coming out of New York, who was a front runner in New York Pro the last couple of years. I think he's placed top 5 at least in the last 2 years. Carries a lot of muscle. Only downside is doesn't get in shape all the way. He's always like 1 or 2 weeks off. Should not be scared to lose the size because he has plenty of it. Just come in razor sharp, and I think he'll be honored a very good place in this show. I mean, he could easily place top 5, top 4, even top 3 possibly if he really does bring it. He has enough muscle to stand next to any one of these guys. He has a Victor-looking like physique, a very nice taper to him, nice from lat to his waist ratio. Great muscle on his legs. Back is tremendous. Just can't be afraid to get down. He's got to be not afraid of that and not worry about the scale and just look at the mirror and say, okay, I'm in shape. I'm ready to go. That'll be his only downfall this weekend. Then you have my friend Eric Ramirez from New Jersey, who won his pro card in North Americans. Tremendous conditioning on Eric. He's never been out of shape. Even in the offseason, I never seen him out of shape. So conditioning is not his issue. His issue is just his symmetry and his lines. Doesn't have a flowing physique like the rest of these guys. Doesn't have like the sweep on the legs and the tight waist and the nice lats that pop out. And he's got more of like a Marcus Rule physique, like freaky, more muscular all over the place. Really dominant body parts, and then some body parts are a little behind. Does bring the conditioning razor sharp though, and does bring the size. So he could carry up definitely a couple of placings just from that. So we'll see how he does well. Good luck to Eric. I do have a dark horse in this show that I did not get to yet. So, and then you have a couple other guys are doing the show: Matt Kuba, Dorian Haywood, Blair Moan, John Sylvie, and the Camilo Garzon. All these guys are honestly 1 to 11 in this show are all very good. They're all about equal, if not a little bit close. A little bit lower tier 3 guys in this show. This will be a very competitive show all the way through. Top 10 are all going to be very close. It's all going to be dependent on who's in shape and who's brought their complete package this day. The dark horse of the show is Hussein Mustafa from Egypt. I've seen internet pictures of him. Obviously, I've never seen him in person, so I'm just going by photos. If he looks anything like he does in those photos, Luke, Steve, and Akeem are all going to have very serious problems with this guy. He's very round. He's bubbly. He's 3D. He's conditioned. His arms look at the size of his legs. I'm not sure if it's photoshopped or not, but he looks tremendous up top. Legs look a little behind his upper body. I don't know if it's the angle of the photo. Don't quote me on that. Don't yell at me. I don't know. I never seen him on stage yet, so I can't pick him apart. This will be the first U.S. show I think he's been in, so it'll be very interesting to see how he does compared to the next of these guys. But he's like another Rami coming up, I think. I mean, from the looks of it, he's got super muscle on him. Like, he doesn't have regular muscle bellies on him. So when we see him stand next to the rest of these guys, we'll be able to see what he really looks like. Everyone looks good in the photos by themselves. So it'll come down to this weekend, though, and see what he does, how he does and what he looks like next to our top guys here in the U.S. But I wish him good luck as well. I'm glad to see guys coming over from Kuwait and Egypt to compete over here and be competitive with us. So it really adds a nice mix to it. So my pick for the show, as long as everyone comes on point, is probably going to be Luke, and then Steve, and then Akeem. Steve and Akeem could switch. And then from there, probably, oh man, I don't know. If Mustafa's on, he could be a top 5 guy. And then Eric, Blair, Justin Rodriguez. I mean, it could be anybody after that. So my top 3 I'm just going to throw out there is Luke, Steve, and Akeem. And we'll see how that goes from there. And then Mustafa's on. I mean, who knows where he could go. He could win the show for all we know. I'm just not sure about his stats. Like, the people lie about his weight and height, so I want to see him actually stand next to somebody to actually see his height and weight. Because if he's too short, then he's not going to be standing a chance against these guys. And if he's not shredded, and if he's imbalanced, like if his muscle imbalances where his upper body is so big compared to his lower body, then he's not going to flow well next to these guys. Because the rest of these guys are very, very proportioned, and their symmetry is very on point, and that's what carries them through so far. They have very balanced physiques and very muscular physiques on top of it. So it'll be a very interesting weekend. I'm excited to cover the show for you guys. Tune back over this weekend on GenerationIron.com to check out the results, and we'll do a wrap-up about the winners and the losers. So thanks again for listening. Make sure you like and subscribe Generation Iron. And this is Nick Trigili, and I'm signing out.